It's OK Football's Champ Chat, where we talk about everything that's gone on this game week in the Championship, the greatest league in the world. I just hope that my team, Luton Town, will be in it next year. But as this is recorded on a Sunday, we cannot talk about Derby versus Sheffield Wednesday. I think that'll be a good game, though. Two teams that, are mixing it quite well at this level. I don't know. Where should we kick this off? Who is your stars of the week?
So last week I said it was Andre Gray. This week, for me, it's Anis Mehmeti.
Yeah.
I think what a couple of goals that he got yesterday in a thoroughly convincing win for Bristol City against Plymouth. And I know that they've got history, Bristol City and Plymouth. That it's been quite a fruitful fixture for Bristol City in the last few. Is that a derby? I'd say it's a derby in the context of there's not a lot around Plymouth in terms of league sides between them and Bristol, really.
Anyone who's within 100
obviously Exeter.
miles.
Exeter's obviously the main one for Plymouth. But in terms of like teams that they played regularly. Bristol City won 4-0. I thought Mehmeti was absolutely brilliant. And we mention all the time on this podcast that we're Luton fans. I remember when Harry Cornick went to Bristol City in the same window as Mehmeti. Yeah. Thinking
a week after.
Yeah, I remember thinking, Mehmeti will he's a decent enough player, but I don't think he'll get in ahead of Cornick. Whoa, I was wrong.
Yeah, you're so wrong.
Whoa.
I knew you were wrong at the time.
Yeah.
Do you know where they signed Anis Mehmeti from?
I do not.
Wickham. I know we said beforehand that we weren't going to discuss it. Yeah, they signed him from Wickham. What a player.
Great
and Wickham picked him up from non-league as well. There is some proper talent in non-league. You just got to take the plunge, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they were brilliant. Plymouth obviously are going for a difficult time, especially on the road. I think that's 6 losses, or 5 losses in 6 away from home. And it would have been a tough one because they got a bit of a pound in midweek as well.
10 goals in a week away from home for a minute.
I don't know what that would feel like.
We only shipped 7, so.
Well, you look at, Bristol City. It took them to the second half to get the first goal, but that could have been 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Before the half-time whistle, wasn't it? They were all over Plymouth. Yeah. And surprised it was just 4. Yeah.
Liam Manning has them playing some brilliant stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I follow Argyle Life on Twitter, and even they were posting when the first goal went in, Bristol City have finally got their goal. It was not something that was out of nowhere. They were absolutely dominant in that game.
Is that the one with scout reports?
Yeah.
Reports.
Yeah, with the best segue sort of thing I've ever seen. Yeah. That was my sort of individual performance of the week, and I guess it kind of goes in with the team performance of the week. I think Bristol City were fantastic. For me, other shout outs, I thought that Sheffield United coming out on top against Sunderland in that sort of battle for promotion.
That was a good top of the table game, wasn't it? As well, red cards.
Do you think that? So Chris Metham's red card. Do you think that was a red card? I don't think so. I think he was quite unlucky with the follow through, the way the legs caught.
Doesn't matter. He was last man. He's taken the guy out. I think
there was a guy over the other side that was sort of level-ish, but I feel like it was going towards
the ball going back in the other direction, wasn't it? Yeah. And he took him out edge of the.
I felt Sunderland were hard done by, to be honest, and this isn't me trying to score points with Sunderland fans watching. I genuinely think Sunderland were hard done by in that game.
I thought that they were the better side for the first half in particular. I thought they played
the sending off changed the game.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But they played some excellent football. We've spoken before about Isidore, and some of the touches that he got Suter sent off ultimately by that clever little touch with the outside of his right foot. And the takeaway I had from the game, actually, this might sound a little bit mad because props to Sheffield United, and they obviously got the goal, and Tom Davies scored for the first time in God knows how long. He's probably been waiting for that goal for quite some time. Sunderland did very well, but can you imagine just how angry Chris Wilder would have been at Harry Suter for having lost that man advantage literally a minute before half time. I can only imagine
as well.
Yeah, Suter being 6'5", however tall he is, I do not care. I reckon Chris Wilder would have absolutely torn him a new one in that changing room at half time. He's just very, very lucky that Sheffield United that Sheffield United got it over the line.
Now watch out, you have Jimmy from Blades Ramble on you.
Yeah, I mean, another probably resilient, would you call it, Blackburn. 1-0.
They're ridiculous. They could have won by more.
Why was that a 1:30 kickoff as well? Bit weird.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
Not 12:30, not 3 o'clock. 1:30.
Is there like there a time difference up in Lancashire?
Policing thing? I don't know. I have no idea.
Lancashire mean time.
Yeah, I have no idea. But they did very well, didn't they? I always mention it when I speak about Blackburn, but I really like Ohashi.
I knew you were going to say
I
Ohashi.
just
He
really
hit the
like
bar.
him. He did.
Yeah.
I did. And that's the reason why I mentioned him, because I thought that he was really unlucky not to score himself. But
he hasn't scored for a few games, has he? He's going on a bit.
Oh, no, I'm sure he'll come back.
When I watch him, I just feel like he's just a decent player. And it's just Leeds fans will be annoyed because they obviously strolled to victory over Luton in the midweek.
Well, this is what happens when a team actually gives you a game, defends with purpose. Blackburn were great, and John Eustace, he knows how to set a team up.
He does.
There were clearances, but it wasn't just a tremendous defensive display. As we were saying, Ohashi, he could have had a goal, hit the bar.
Yeah.
And they threatened Leeds. Yes, Leeds had a lot of the ball, but they didn't let themselves get bullied. They didn't fold in on themselves like a neutron star. They actually gave as good as they got.
I really like Todd Cantwell as well.
What
a
signing! They got him on a free.
Trick as well, didn't he? I mean,
they got him on a free, right?
Yeah. He was playing up in Scotland, wasn't he?
But to be honest, I could still play up in Scotland.
But before that, he was at Norwich, and I think he's a thoroughly good player. I think he'll be really, really good for him.
Yeah, good pen. Signing. Missed a couple of chances as well. There's a little bit of over the penalty, wasn't there? I think it was Dolan and Cantwell. And the
good
captain,
work from Dolan though to get the pen. Good work from Dolan.
Yeah, he's a good player, Dolan. Yeah, really like him. Really low centre of gravity, sort of really nippy. Really, really good player. I enjoy watching Dolan. It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Well, I thought Cantwell would be taking the penalty anyway, surely, because he sort of, I guess he's a senior pro. I sort of remember him as like the kid that played for Norwich, but that must have been about a decade ago.
Well, this is it. That's what's in my head.
When Norwich were in the Premier League, weren't they? And
and he was on the verge of an England call-up as well. Wasn't he?
He's a tricky little so-and-so, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, Blackburn. They did beat
3 wins in a row now for them,
1-0.
Yeah.
Midweek, and I mean Middlesbrough have been scoring for fun again. And
Finazaz, mate.
Oh,
Finazaz. I've got the numbers here. 6 goals, 7 assists this season.
Really? Even Tommy Conway, he's
what a signing!
Yeah, he's really.
They were lucky though yesterday, Borough. I'll be honest with you. We spoke about red cards a short while ago. That's a red card. The one on João Pedro. He's through. He's all over his shirt. He might have exacerbated the contact, but the point is that he was being hindered, and the fact that he didn't get. It wasn't even a free kick. I just found that absolutely bizarre.
If you're going to try and sell it to the ref, like the ref's going to want to, stamp his authority by being like, nah, I'm too smart for that.
Yeah, I just felt like it was pretty blatant. I'll be honest with you. I'm not necessarily saying that Borough don't go on to win the game anyway. I think that Borough at home, like we said, they've been scoring goals for fun in general, and like I say, Finazaz's goal was a wonderful goal. Conway's been brilliant, but it should have been a red card.
Yeah.
Talking about wonderful goals, I want to talk about Tyler Goodrum. Yeah. Oxford United won Hull 1. Not Hull 1.
Not Hull.
Millwall. Millwall were doing everything possible to try and lose that game. Defensively, a very un-Millwall-like performance. Literally just giving the ball to Oxford and letting them have a straight run at goal. But, Goodrum coming in, I think it was 86th minute. What a strike. We saw him do that against Luton as well. It was sensational strike. And Oxford could have nicked it. Right at the end as well.
Yeah, he had a strike earlier on in the match as well, which was a wonderful save from Millwall's goalkeeper. And you could see sort of like he got the ball quite high up, and from the centre of the goal. It was going towards sort of top bins again, but he got it right at the very end there. And like I say, Oxford at home are they're going to be difficult for anyone to beat. Really, I think that they're just. I was really impressed with Oxford. Like when they came to Kenilworth Road, I was really impressed with them. Just like the energy they've got, the sort of tactical nous through their manager. I think that they're. Like so they keep on ticking those points over.
As a Luton fan, it's horrible to hear because they've only picked one other point up away from home.
Yeah.
Oxford.
Yeah.
So
it's all about home
for
form,
them
isn't it?
Yeah. What's his tactical nous?
We got tall fellas up front, lump it to it. No, it's better than that. It's better than that.
Oh God! So I'm talking about tactical nous. So I watched the. Funnily enough, it was the only highlights package that was extended for me. Coventry versus Cardiff. I don't know why they bothered extending it. We were talking about it before we started rolling. Half of that highlight reel was just flicking to Frank Lampard for reactions.
Yeah, it was reaction cam on the side.
It
wasn't
was like just in case you weren't aware that Coventry made Frank Lampard their manager. I mean, that's pathetic. Like, I don't think that happens when Plymouth are playing anymore, do they? They don't keep flicking to Rooney for reactions. But in all fairness, I know Haji Wright is out injured now, but Frank Lampard's dropped Sims to the bench. He's sort of trying to stamp his authority. Like Mason Clark, I think, scored a good goal, but at the same time, Mason Clark's quite a young kid. And he started out with Bassett up top as well. So he's sort of stamping his authority on the team by dropping the big established players, I guess.
Yeah, maybe he's come in and thought he's going to, like I say, stamp his authority straight off the bat. I don't know. It's one of those ones where I feel like we've spoken about Coventry a lot this year because we thoroughly sort of fancied them for doing a lot better than they are.
I fancied them when Mark Robbins was manager.
Exactly,
now I don't fancy them.
And it's one of those ones where it's one of those ones that's going to play out before us, isn't it? Like how that's going to look. Is it going to be a case of they continue to play good football and just have a pick up in form because of a new manager, or are they going to be thinking, what have we done here? We've gone for a flagship name, and he's not at it.
What a name!
Yeah, but you've got to get results regardless. And let's be honest. I think that to be fair to Lampard, he's come back down to the Championship for the first time since he was managing at Derby. Realised that he can't. He's not done it at the Premier League level, so he's got to build his reputation up again. I admire him for having the hunger to come back and do something.
He should probably go a bit lower though. Like, look, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, didn't he go all the way down to Burton?
He did.
He did well for him as well, didn't he?
But
you talk about Coventry in that game. Cardiff have got to be, really disappointed with themselves being 2-1 up away from home against a team around you. You've got to be taking 3 points away when you're 85 minutes in.
Yeah, and also not block crosses like that.
Yeah.
Pillock, absolute pillock. And he moaned about it.
Talk about penalties which should have been given for handballs. QPR, I think, should be very aggrieved there, away to Watford, who've got a terrific home form. It's horrible to say. But, I watched that first half. And it's
full-on swipe at the middle of his arm.
Yeah, it's what you expect from Ryan Porteous, though, really, isn't it?
He's such a scumbag.
Yeah. He's found his team, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's... bias aside... he's a thug that plays football. Like, you saw his performance for Scotland in the Euros, where he was sent off after 10 minutes, or something. He
probably screwed them over, didn't he?
He did, and he's
and his mate Pollock at the back there. Couple of meathead centre back.
Meatheads. Yeah, they are. They're like the Meathead brothers.
Yeah, and he's saying it hit him there.
I mean, I would have done the same.
Blatant.
Like you can't sort of blame him for that. But the point is that going back to the game, like QPR were very good.
Yeah,
but I feel like they could have easily won that game.
Missed a couple of sitters as well, didn't they? And
it's a good free kick for Watford that on another day is 2 inches sort of over the line.
Yeah.
rather than on it. But yeah, I thought the QPR
big point for them, isn't it? Yeah.
Big point for them, but they could have been 3. They hit the post at the end there as well.
Well, QPR fans would have taken the point ahead of the game. But,
Yeah.
seeing how the game played out, completely different. They should have taken all 3.
Yeah.
And again, it's that was the theme of teams in the bottom half. They were in positions to take points.
Hello, Portsmouth.
Nail on the head. Yeah, here we go. Let's talk about Portsmouth. 2-0 up. And before we start talking about the game, Matt Ritchie, so he left Portsmouth at the age of 20 after playing 10 games for them. He's a Portsmouth lad, born and bred, big fan of Portsmouth. He scored his first goal for Portsmouth. Put them 1-0 up, and then they go 2-0 up, and then they chuck it away when they need points. They need wins.
I heard the commentator say that it was his first goal for Pompey, and I thought first goal in this spell. I didn't realise it was his actual first goal.
He left when he was 20.
Yeah. So
how old is he now, Ollie?
30, I think.
Whole
been a long
decade
time
now.
Yeah.
He was off having a career, wasn't he, in the Premier League?
Yeah. Where was he last?
Bournemouth,
Newcastle. Was it?
Yeah.
Pompey, Newcastle, back down.
Yeah. But yeah, it's you're right. I think that Pompey will be in a weird way. Again, it depends on the context of how you look at it, doesn't it? I think if you go away to Swansea and you see that they took a win in midweek, you'd be like, right, okay, if we can take something out of the game, we'll be happy. But you go 2-0 up that early, and you kind of think, I should be converting that into 3 points, really. A couple of lovely goals in that game as well. There was one, I thought that Murphy's goal was very, very good.
Great goal.
The way that he kept it down as well. Really, really good technique in that goal. And yeah, there was Swansea, the bit that impressed me most was something that I haven't seen or not noticed before. It was a no-look cross.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, so he
You
rather
weren't
than
looking.
sort of like yeah, you were looking where he was. Yeah, he was sort of like looking like he was going to bend it around the last man, but he sort of gave eyes to do that, but then sort of played it square along the box. It was
Who was that? Was that Eon?
Can't remember.
Eon.
Can't remember.
Ronald. Ronald is ridiculous. That sounds Brazilian.
Yeah, whoever got the assist
Or Portuguese.
for the
I don't know. I think Ronald's Brazilian. Imagine looking for talent overseas in Brazil. That sounds like a great idea.
But yeah, no, it was one of those ones where Pompey would have wanted the 3 points. Swansea will probably just be happy to have not lost the game, knowing that they're coming to Luton. And
Charity FC are going to give them 3 points. Talking about that, let's have a brief look. Norwich, Luton.
Yeah, Norwich score goals for fun. We know that. And if I'm honest with you, as a Luton fan, I was astonished that we went 1-0 up.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I bet you were surprised when we pulled it back to 2-2.
So I was surprised when we pulled it back for 2-2. Totally unsurprised by the fact that we went 2-1 behind so quickly after going
I'll tell
up.
you, I was out doing some shopping. Come out of Tesco's, looked at my phone, 1-0 up. Brilliant. Surprised.
What's going on?
Got petrol. Put the radio on once I got my petrol.
2-1 down, mate.
And Chong's just going to shepherd this one out. Oh no, Jack Stacey's kept it in, and Norwich have scored again. I was thinking, it's 1-0, and I in that short space of time. But again, why was I surprised that we'd gone 2-1 down so quickly?
Can't be surprised.
It's gotten to that point where you just know as soon as we score, the other team are going to score two more.
It's almost like Luton think, we're 1-0 up. This is really unfair on you guys. Come on, let's be fair. Let's go back to 1-0.
Yeah. And it was one of those ones. It felt like it was inevitable, even towards the back end of the game. I know they took a little while to get the third, but I didn't really ever get that. Yeah. You get that point on a Saturday afternoon. We're like, I'll take a point away from home. I'm getting quite hopeful now. It's like 4:30. Like, get going. And I just never thought that was going to happen. It's a sad situation for us as fans, but it's the reality of it is that we're struggling.
It was a good week for Norwich. Obviously, they've been on a pretty terrible run, haven't they? And then they get Plymouth at home midweek, Luton at home at the weekend. I mean, if they wanted 2 games,
lovely
to
jubbly,
pick
10
up
goals
points,
for them.
Yeah. So top goal scorers
fill
on
your
there.
boots, fill your boots, lads. So Borja Sainz, he scored the 4th, put the cherry on the cake. But for Luton, where did Luton go from here? I guess you should watch the Luton Town show that's also up on our channel. Like and subscribe.
I don't. I'm not saying that I'm an advocate for gambling, by the way, when I say this, but I did put on a cheeky one yesterday when Luton went 1-0 down, 1-0 up, and I put a double on Norwich and Burnley. To win,
very good.
Which came in, and it just felt like, this is quite easy. Like this is pretty obvious, isn't it? Burnley, though, by the sounds of it, had a bit of a difficult time in the first half. It was very much a sort of 50-50 game, but they've just got players that just know how to win in this league.
Yeah, it's just pass revolution.
You know what Burnley do? They don't concede goals.
Exactly.
And if you don't concede goals,
you don't lose games.
Yeah, they're difficult to beat, aren't they? I was tipping Burnley to do really well this season. I think Scott Parker's a decent manager at this level. Yeah. I don't see why people didn't like that hire. They're one of the 3 teams that came down to be top of the table, along with Sheffield United, who have a 2-point deduction as well.
Meanwhile, Luton Town, 19th, negative 18 goal difference. I don't know, maybe negative 8. I know there's an 8 in there. 88, negative 88.
Yeah. It's just bleak, isn't it? When you consider how other teams have done it and how they've, like I say, Chris Wilder rebuilt vast majority of a squad. And
Scott Parker had to as well.
Yeah.
And Jay Rodriguez wouldn't have had an easier goal than the first one.
Yeah. That's the definition of if you're in the right place, you can benefit from scoring a goal.
Exactly, but imagine creating chances like that. And the second one, it was a pen, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was a pen for their second one. They don't create too much, but at the same time, teams don't create too much against them. No. And that is the blueprint for success.
Yeah.
And we saw Luton do that in 22-23. Yeah, exactly. Be solid at the back. Don't concede shots. Don't concede chances. And lo and behold, you might win.
Do you know a team that struggles to win?
Well, is it West Brom?
It's West Brom.
Yeah, well, you know what? If they did win, I think the earth would wobble off its axis and just hurl into the sun, to be honest.
9 draws in 10, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Wonderful.
9 draws
Absolutely
in
wonderful. 10. Well, they, can't beat them.
But, I mean, it was one of those ones where Preston also, if you're going to talk about sort of draw specialists, usually you'd be thinking about West Brom. But Preston are very well known for their ability to draw a game. So it was one of those situations yesterday where on our Predictor League, I think there was 4 people.
Did we all get 1-1?
Yeah, that was where all the points came from.
Well, Preston did well considering Freddie Woodman was out for this one. He's a tremendous goalkeeper, one of the best in the Championship. So fair play to them for not losing.
And I've said before over the course of the season about how much I think that Emil Rees is a good striker.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's just got just an inherent amount of power as well, and you see that in his goal yesterday. It was great strike. So another point on the board for those guys.
Yeah, fair play to them. Yeah, another point on the board. How many more games have we got to go this season?
27.
So 27. So 27 more points on the bag for West Brom.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that enough for a playoff push? Possibly.
If they can start turning a few of those into wins, because it's like we just said about Burnley, it's the same ethos. If they don't
what's
concede
a win?
a lot,
What's a win?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're going to win.
It's not even that. It's just like if they don't concede a lot, then they can win. Do you know what I mean? Like they can turn things. It can easily be turned into 3 points if they just start that extra percent.
Mate, speaking as a Luton fan, I don't even know what winning is anymore.
I agree. It's been quite nice talking about the Championship though, rather than Luton, because you can talk about the skill and the joy and some of the goals and stuff like that. The finishes, because we don't see that very often anymore.
No.
So.
No. I hope we
Did
can
we
still
see any howlers throughout? Obviously, there was the Chongi defending against Norwich, absolute howler there.
That was embarrassing. That was old. I said it in the Luton show. That was old Luton versus new Luton. Imagine having that commitment to go for the ball, never say die attitude from Jack Stacey.
Yeah, I know we're the Championship review here, but FA Cup coming up, 3rd round in January. There was an absolute howler in the FA Cup. I don't know if you saw it.
We probably got different ideas for our howlers of the week. Yeah,
I'm talking about Wellston against Wickham.
Okay.
And it was 0-0. Wellston had an opportunity. Ball got crossed in from a yard out. Ford put it over the bar. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm
Hell
not
of a miss.
a fan of either team, but I had my head in my hands at how he missed that.
You want a goal
don't
kick?
know.
I'll give it you.
Yeah, exactly. It was. But the thing is, Wickham then went down the other end, got a free kick from 25 yards out, and the Wickham player just goes, "I'll show you how it's done," and put his free kick top bins. That was a cracking goal from Wickham.
Bloomfield masterclass.
Yeah.
The best error for me this week was it was like the ends of the game. Notts County versus Peterborough. The Peterborough goalkeeper slipped as he was sending out a goal kick, and the Notts County player sent in a brilliant first or second time shot, scored, made it 4-3. Game was pretty much over though, consolation goal. But the Peterborough goalkeeper was sort of watching the ball, ended up just twatting straight into the post. It was wonderful. Donk.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
But we hope you had a great time watching this week. Let us know who your star of the week, star performer, star team. Let us know in the comments below. As always, a big thank you to our audio partners, Black Star Amplification and Carry On, for making sure that we sound great. Wherever you are in the country, make sure to check out the record shop in Amersham. If you collect vinyl, CDs or guitars, go check them out. Top stuff. And mention the OK Football Show, you'll get a discount as well. And there's a picture of us, you can point to it. But that's us done for this week. Whoever you support, have a great week. And I think no midweek football this week, right?
Single game week. Yeah, we can have a little bit of a break.
Thank God.
After the devastating week that we've endured.
Yeah.
And on that lovely note, goodbye, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Take care.